Today, I'm finally going on a first run in Ultraboost 19. 6.74 miles, 9 minutes, 59 seconds per mile, 144 beats per minute. I think on my run today, I left my heart rate monitor at my mother-in-law's house in Iowa. So I'm going off of the optical heart rate monitor on my watch, and it's just not all that reliable for me. So I think that's about what my heart rates were. I tried to stay within my kind of heart rate training ranges, but at another point, I was just thinking, if I run about a 10-minute mile, I think I'll be okay with where my current level of fitness is in regards to my heart rate. So I was a little bit frustrated about the run, but that had nothing to do with the shoe. I'm very happy to finally squeeze in some miles today on a busy day. In the middle of the day, I was able to get out, sneak out for a little bit for a run, and test out Ultraboost 19. Now, before I get into my detailed thoughts about this shoe, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that I bought with my own money. No one sent them to me. No one's paying me to wear the shoe or to make this video. And no one's going to get a chance to preview any of this footage before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. Now, with the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about Ultraboost 19. Now, I recognize that I am extremely late to this party, and Ultraboost 20 videos are already coming out, and Ultraboost 20 drops, I think, in like 2 days from now. So it's about as late as a video like this can be. But there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to get into Ultraboost 19 before the year closed out. The main reason being that this pair of Ultraboost I bought on the Adidas website for $108. So it's an extremely cheap shoe right now, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I was in love with the redesign from the moment I saw it this time last year. But it's just a shoe that I was never really able to get to until right about now. And I'm glad that I finally did. Although I'm not sure that this is the shoe that's going to allow runners to wrestle the shoe away from the hype beasts. So let's talk about what's going on in this shoe. On the upper, we've got prime knit all around, and it is just absolutely fantastic. I love wearing prime knit, and the way that this feels on foot is just absolutely fantastic. The fit is just spot on. I went true to size in this shoe in my regular size 9 that I wear across all brands. And it just fit like a glove. The fit was just so nice. The other thing that we've got going on in this shoe is this heel cup area. And it was really surprising to me because when you look at this shoe, you see that there's prime knit everywhere. You think it's going to be really floppy, but this heel area is really quite stiff. There's this part here that looks like it's just kind of like a decorative piece or just some nominal sort of stiffness, but there's something inside it as well, something that's giving some more rigidity in this heel area. And so that I think also really helped with lockdown. There's a little bit of padding right here. There's 2 little pads that also kind of keep the shoe locked in over the bottom of your heel before your Achilles. And so the fit in the heel area was also really nice. Another thing that surprised me about this shoe is this cage. Now, a lot of people have kind of complained about this. I thought this would be floppier, but instead it's actually sewn on in 4 different points onto the shoe, which gives it a little bit more, like, not rigidity, but it keeps everything clamped down just a little bit better. And so the overall fit in this shoe worked out really well for me. The tongue in the front comes up a little bit higher, but I'm wearing this in the winter months right now, paired with like a pair of wool running socks or thicker winter socks, and this just makes for a really nice combo. So overall, very happy with the upper. On the outsole, we've got that Continental rubber, which is nice and grippy. Love the feel on that. Felt very sure-footed. Wasn't too bad in terms of conditions out there today. I don't think there was anything all that slippery. But from my experience with the Continental rubber before, I do like what's going on in the outsole here. But the real story about this shoe is all this boost that's in here. And this year, there's 20% more boost than last year. And when I first heard that a year ago, I was really disappointed because I didn't think that the problem with Ultraboost was the amount of boost. I actually thought that the problem with Ultraboost was that it already had too much boost. For example, my favorite Adidas running shoe is the Adios 4. It has a very thin layer of boost in there, and I think that there's something that magical that just happens with boost when you get it to that right level of thickness when you're running, where it just feels super springy and it just feels really great and energetic to run on. That's what I feel in the Adios 4. The only problem with it is it's not enough cushion to last me for a marathon. So as you put more in there, like in the Boston 8, you have a very capable, very fast running shoe, but you lose some of that like spring and it just seems a little less lively to me. And so you keep adding more and more boost, you get more and more cushion, and it just gets less and less interesting. At least that's what I thought until I put on the Ultraboost 19. The thing that's different and very different about this version of the Ultraboost compared to, say, last year's version, which I also ran in and I also really enjoyed, is that the way that they've added the boost. It seems almost as if, well, obviously, very clearly, they've added a lot of boost in this heel area. And it's so much that they've had to shave away this part of the shoe. So that way, as you're hitting, you're not fighting and scraping this part of the shoe as you're running. But they added a bunch of boost in the heel back here. And from the way that my feet hit the ground, it felt as if they took away boost from the forefoot. Even on a short run today, felt like there wasn't a lot of boost in there. And so what this led to me to feel was like that this is on paper a 10 millimeter heel drop shoe. And I didn't look up how much the heel drop was before I ran in the shoe. I thought that this surely must be a 12 millimeter heel drop shoe. And I thought it was weird that Adidas would shift to that. The only other shoe that I've seen that has a 12 millimeter heel drop is the Brooks Ghost. And I ran in the Brooks Ghost 11 GTX last year. Love the upper on that. Nice and winterized. Gore-Tex is always a good thing in my book. But that heel drop, 12 millimeters, was crazy. It was really hard to work with. And I felt myself constantly fighting the shoe, especially kind of in this area here. I felt like as I was running in this shoe that this was a 12 millimeter heel drop shoe. It felt a little bit uncomfortable. Felt like it was pushing me forward, and not in a good way, like it was getting me through my gait cycle, but it was kind of like someone was like tipping me forward in an uncomfortable way. So I didn't really like that about this shoe. On the other hand, what that does though, it changed the running dynamics of the shoe in such a way that it made it less of a plush shoe. And so last year when I ran in the Ultraboost, I ran in the Ultraboost PARLEY. That shoe was great. I felt the ample amount of boost in the shoe. It was nice and comfy, but you kind of sank in a little bit. And for me, distances over 10 miles in that shoe started to get really fatiguing because it was heavy, and it just got squishier and squishier as the run got longer. And so I liked Ultraboost for kind of like medium long distances or even regular distance shoes, like in my average length of runs for shoes, because after a certain point, it just got too mushy. I don't think that I'm going to get that with this shoe. And combined with the way that the Ultraboost is kind of distributed through the shoe and that kind of angle of attack that this 10 millimeter heel drop shoe gives me, I feel like this is trying to push this shoe out of kind of like max cushion, high mileage, recovery day type of shoe and into more of a daily trainer shoe. And if that's the goal, I think that they're moving in the right direction. I still wish I was feeling a little bit more boostiness in the forefoot. I don't know that I need quite so much in the heel, but then again, I might not be the person that they're designing this shoe for. And so I've been hearing from a lot of you guys saying that you've been absolutely loving the Ultraboost. I've also been hearing from people the standard Ultraboost are great, but they're not really running shoes. I've been getting a lot of that comment too, but I've also been hearing from people that you just absolutely love the Ultraboost 19 this year, especially compared to what Ultraboost has been like previously. And I can see why. It definitely has more of a runner's dynamic in the shoe. I just wish they didn't have to get there by putting so much in the back. But again, that just might be my personal preference. The other thing that happened to me on this shoe is that in my right foot, I got a pain that stretched basically across the arch. And it even started to stretch kind of outward towards this part of the, it wasn't in my heel, but kind of towards like the middle and out to the side like this. I started to get really fatigued in that part, not in my left foot, but in my right foot. And I'm not sure why that was. I definitely could feel as I was walking around in the shoe that, and just my early starting off running in the shoe, that the arches didn't quite feel great for me. Now, I've tried to put my wife in Ultraboost before, and she complained that there just wasn't enough arch support for her. So I'm, again, one of the things that I'm not great at detecting, and something that I'm working on becoming better at perceiving, is whether or not shoes have great arch support. And I don't think that this one does. And I think that's what was bothering me with this shoe so far. Hopefully it's a break-in issue. Maybe it's something that once my foot gets accustomed to it after a couple of runs, it won't be an issue. It's something that I'm definitely going to keep an eye on as I run more in the shoe. But it was also something that definitely affected me today after about 2 miles or so. So very, very soon, very quickly getting into the shoe. It wasn't as big a deal in my left foot. I could still kind of feel the same sensation, but I also think that I know that my arches are different heights in my feet, so it just might be that it affects my right foot more prominently because of the way that arch is. Overall, I'm not sure I love Ultraboost 19. I'm not sure it's better than the Ultraboost in 2018. I do think that at the current prices, now some of the Ultraboost 19, for whatever reason, is still $180. This pair I got for $108. Some of the colors, depends on the color that you get. Some of the sizing is limited, but some really great deals to be had on there. For $108, I think this shoe is fantastic. For even a little bit more than that, I still think that this shoe is a pretty good bargain. I normally don't talk about pricing too much, but because I'm reviewing this shoe so late and so soon to the release of the next version, I think it kind of becomes a little bit more prominent in my discussion today. And so I like it. I don't know that I like it for $180, but I do like it for a lot less than $180. I will say though that these are probably my favorite shoes to walk around in, to wear, to have on casually. Just feels absolutely great. The 20% more boost feels great when you're walking around, which is again why I'm like, are they really designing this shoe for runners? It's really still very heavy. The weird thing about that though is when you are walking around, I don't feel the weight of the shoe at all. It's almost perfectly balanced for walking. When I'm running, sometimes I felt it, sometimes I didn't. It would like come and go. I'd have to like listen for it. It's not the right word, but I kind of have to look for it sometimes to be like, oh yeah, these shoes are heavy. Other times I would be running and I'd feel, oh yeah, these shoes are heavy. So it's the weight is it's a big issue for me. There's a lot of weight here, but it's not always a big issue for me. That part was a little bit confusing. So I'm going to be putting more miles into the Ultraboost 19. I'm not sure that I'll be reviewing Ultraboost 20 right away. I might give it some time, let the initial hype die down first before I get to Ultraboost 20. So I still have plenty of, I'm not in a rush to get through the miles on this, but I am running a lot of miles these days. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that 100-mile mark soon. And some of these kind of lingering questions, hopefully will be resolved. Stay tuned for that if you want to see what the results are of running an Ultraboost 19 after a little bit a longer period of time. So that's all I have to say about Ultraboost 19. Let me know in the comments if you have any additional questions or if you've been running in them and love them, hate them, think that they're still not for runners, or think that they absolutely are. Let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys more about it down there. Before I go, I want to remind you guys about the charity runner for this week. This week is Tommy Hackett, who just finished the Seattle Marathon, and he was raising money for the Pat Tillman Foundation, an organization that helps America's military veterans. So I was very happy to donate $70 to Tommy's fundraising efforts, and I'll post a link in the description in case you'd like to learn more. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?